This July, I had the opportunity to host a epic creator retreat. It was called Creator Wave. We went on a 5-night cruise to Mexico and the Bahamas with Virgin Voyages. It was about 60 of us. And let me tell you guys, this trip was not only an amazing experience for me as an organizer, but also as an attendee, because I learned so much. Something that has been just very important to me in my own personal life and professional life is not only to do the things that you're going to say you're going to do, but also to reflect on them, right? You want to be able to reflect, to grow, to see, hey, how do we make things better? Or what did we learn from this trip? Really, truly my learnings. And again, I was on a live retreat with some of the world's best creators who are crushing it and killing it, and also with people who are just starting out. But I was able to see a lot of things, and I've been wanting to do this video for a very long time to kind of share with you guys my reflections on what I learned being around these creators in real life. Now, I think before I even share with you all the learnings that I put together, I just want to say that the biggest reminder of it all for me was virtual is one thing, but nothing is going to be good old-fashioned, old-school human hangouts, okay? Having that one-on-one with people, bumping into people, touching people. I know that feels weird, but truly giving someone a hug, right? Laughing, hearing, that human interaction. Nothing beats it. I know I have my membership community on Zoom. I have hundreds of thousands of creators that follow me on all the things. But this was what I needed in my business to realize, damn, being in person, nothing tops it. And it was such a dopamine hit for me and an adrenaline rush, and I think for everyone else as well, because we realized we need each other. We need each other in so many more ways than we give ourselves credit. We all know the creator world is very lonely. Many of us work from home. Many of us are isolated, and we're forced to be creative. We're forced to be creative on the dime, and it's hard to be creative when you are always in the grind of life. So the first major learning that came to me in my reflection was that creators thrive in collaboration. We all started this because we have a little creative spirit in us that is wanting to shine, that wants to be creative. Let's just call it what it is. We don't have to be good at art and music or any of that to want to be creative. We all have that in our souls and in our spirit. And when you're around other people who have that energy, something magical happens. I got to witness firsthand creators who do not even know each other shoot videos together, make reels together, shoot stories with one another, in-person brainstorming, like literally going to dinner and being like, oh my gosh, we should do this TikTok trend because the song is trending right now. Let's shoot it. I saw people kind of sitting with one another, editing together. I saw people brainstorming content ideas together, like spontaneous and not planned. That to me was just such an awakening moment that we all need to collaborate more. We all need to help each other more. We all need to shoot together more, because we need each other. We can't do this thing by ourselves. We weren't made to do it by ourselves. Now, something else that I found so fascinating, and I hope that this really takes a burden off anyone listening that feels like they don't know what they're doing, okay, is that everyone has different workflows. And it's a beautiful thing. You can't copy the artist's paintbrush, their stroke. That's their stroke, and that's what works for them. And I was able to see, for example, Sandy and Jimmy from Trying Something New. They are awesome creators. They're viral creators. They have a process. And even seeing their workflow, it was really obviously helpful for a lot of people because people are able to be like, oh, like that's what they do. And that's, how they enjoy it. But one thing Jimmy said, which was so interesting, he was like, I like to edit all my short form stuff on the desktop. And I was like really taken aback by that. He's like, I don't like to be on the phone. It feels so constrained. It feels so tight, That was his workflow. So he literally will be editing because he wants more space to edit. Whereas another creator who also goes viral and also does great stuff, edits everything on CapCut. Is one right? Is one wrong? No, they have this same passion for creativity and for content, but different workflows. So just remind yourself, guys, while yes, there's systems and efficiencies and ways that we can all improve, ultimately the big lesson here is that you have to figure out your workflow. What's going to help you get it done? What's going to help you deliver? What's going to help you move fast? Because if you are getting stuck on trying to copy someone else's workflow versus refining your own, That's the focus. You should be focusing on your own. It really just taught me there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to content creation. As much as you try to see tons of videos all over YouTube and all over the world that say, this is how you should edit, this is how you should do. Yes, there are systems for getting faster, but there's no one-size-fits-all. You got to figure out what works for you. Now, speaking of going fast, I do want to shout out a few things here because, again, I was on this trip with creators with millions of followers that are making millions of dollars a year in brand deals. And I also have creators who are just starting out. And even those that were just starting out, I was able to recognize them like, oh, they're going to be super successful. They're going to kill it. And I think the things that really stood out to me for those type of people are people who are able to move fast. So what do I mean by that? There are people who would literally just know what they're going to shoot ahead of time. They had on their phone like, hey, I'm going to be vlogging this, so I need to get these sort of shots. They treated it like a business. They're not on their phone the whole time, right? But they knew what they had to go out and get. They got it and they produced it. They go to the room, shoot the reel, press upload. I can't tell you how many times I, personally, Nina, have gotten the content and never hit publish. I'm just like, it's just there on my phone and it's halfway edited. And then a week passes and it never gets up. I was so impressed by some creators who were just moving fast. It didn't have to be perfect. It didn't have to be hyper edited. They just moved fast. Another big area that I saw of like, oh, this is really interesting. These people are going to probably be successful is people who also didn't let things like equipment hold them back. Oh, I don't have the best equipment. I don't have this, so I can't create. No, I literally saw a brand just last week pay creator $30,000 and the entire campaign was shot on the phone. They asked in the contract to make sure it was shot on a handheld. So that just shows that this brand was willing to pay $30,000 for a sponsored piece of content that was shot on the phone. You did not need a big old fancy camera to do that. So again, this idea of not having things stop you. I remember Sandy and Jimmy, again, our guest speakers, they got up there. They're like, we don't follow rules like optimal time to post or how many videos should you post. They're like, we post what we want to post. We want to post on Instagram 3 times. We're going to do it. We don't follow the rules. We create the rules. And I love that energy because you don't want to be listening to gurus. You want to be out there in the arena, in the field, learning for yourself what works and what doesn't. Now, if you're loving this video so far and love seeing the footage of all of us together, creating, learning together, inspiring one another, shooting in public, all of that, and you want to be a part of the next Creator Wave, make sure you click this link below so that you can learn more on how to register for our next retreat that we're going to be hosting. Again, if you are a creator that is looking for more real life experiences, more opportunities to connect in person, to find your people, to find people who get you, make friends, build those bonds of friendship, definitely click this link so that you guys can learn more. Now, I do want to say this was a big awakening for me personally because I'm someone who complains of not being inspired. And I have to say, as someone who, works from home, gets to go to the studio, there is something very mundane about the daily grind. We just are in our hamster wheels, whether you're in a corporate office or you're working from home. It's hard. It is hard. And let me tell you something, y'all. Inspiration, it strikes when you are in a new setting, when you're outside of your routine, right outside of that normal flow. It's hard to be inspired like at your desk when you're literally there all freaking day, right? And one of the things that I learned was like, whether, you come on a trip with us or do your own thing or just go to your own city and explore it like a tourist, in order to get inspired, it doesn't come to you. You have to go get it. You have to go search for it. And I found that on this trip, inspiration was striking left and right because we were always like in a new setting, in a new environment. And it kind of got those creative juices flowing because we were able to be like inspired through nature, through new foods, through new experiences. This all helps your little creative spirit kind of just jump off because you're not in that daily little grind. You're excited about things. One of the things that we got from this trip is that people were so grateful to not only, again, be together, meet each other, network, but also the inspiration that just came to them. They went home feeling motivated and they got that boost of energy and creativity that is hard to get when you're, again, in that daily grind. Now, I think we've all heard the saying, community over competition, but how many people really feel that way? Truly, really are not secretly competitive vibes. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know what we did right, and y'all have seen this channel for a long time. I don't come up here and brag. The type of people we have brought into our world are the kindest people, I think, on the internet. There's no weird vibes. There's no competitive vibes. it is pure collaborative vibes. Like, they don't care if you got 5 million followers or just starting. The idea here is to help, to connect, to support. There was no like egotistical, like who's better, you can't sit with us type of vibes. That sort of energy, I don't know. I think Oprah said something like, you never want to have jealous people around you. They are toxic. And I totally agree. You want to be around people who are going to support your wins, who are going to be happy for you, who aren't like, I want that too. You know what I mean? Like, you want people cheering for you. At the Creator Wave event, we did this thing at the end where people showed their videos and people were like cheering for them. We did this like competition, like make a reel and show it at the end. And everyone was cheering for one another, like so happy for each other. And I think that is the spirit. Even people that are in the same niches, it's not about like, oh, well, you're in the hair niche and I'm in the hair niche, so we can't collaborate. No, even more of a reason. This trip, what I think it did for a lot of people, we saw the long lasting friendships that were built. Like, I remember one of the girls was doing like a TV segment in New York and ended up bringing one of the girls she met on the trip to this TV segment with her. We're like, oh my God, that is so cool. And they met on the trip, So again, like these long lasting friendships that happen, and they happen because everyone came to the trip with this truly kind, humanistic spirit. Everyone was super warm and just wanted to be there. And I think when people invest and want to be in these spaces, they go to it with this really positive attitude. I think what made our trip also truly special is that we even had some events that were no phone allowed. So we forced creators to turn off and be in the present moment because not everything needs to be recorded. And those are the special things that we will keep and everyone that came on the trip can keep to themselves. But I think that it also taught us a little bit about like that need to always be on, especially as a creator. I did see a lot of that, like this need to like shoot and record and be on. But I think that people were also able to recognize, what, this is dinner time. This is time to like unwind. This is time to connect and not be always constantly shooting. But the good thing is that when you are shooting, people aren't judging you and it's like a super safe space because everyone's like, yeah, girl, I get it. Like, get that content, like there's no judgment when you're around people that want to do what you do and like agree with your life's choices. And it just feels a lot safer than being with a bunch of people who are like judging, Shooting in public can be very awkward for some creators, especially those that don't have a lot of experience. And a lot of people that came on this trip got the opportunity to shoot in public for the first time ever, like put their tripod up, like shoot themselves, like these things that are uncomfortable, but they got to do it in a really safe space with people who became friends. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, if you're interested in learning more about our next creator retreat, you want to make friends in the creator community, you want to meet people, you want to travel, you want to learn, you want to network, and you want to grow your business in person, make sure you click the link below to learn more on how you can register for our next event. I can't wait to connect with you guys in real life, and I will see you in the next video.